Okay, hopefully you all can hear me. But I want to say something very briefly because I watch what is taking place on social media. And I was going to make this a blog post, but frankly, I don't really have the time to do it. So I'm just going to talk about it. But a lot of you in this space of Black women who claim to be about divestment and Black women empowerment are triggered by Cynthia G, right? And you're bringing up certain things that she said in the past. And, I would not be myself if I didn't remind you all that, like here on this channel, myself and my homegirl told y'all the same thing, and you dismissed it. But what you all are doing now is you're looking at the fact that her channel has grown, and frankly, her presence has grown, and you're looking like really jealous. You're jealous of her growth. You thought you could use her, and now that you see that you can't, you're bringing up things that have already been out there, right? So it's already been out there that she's made certain comments. It's already been out there that she's made it very clear that while she is about empowering Black women, her content is not divested, right? And you all knew that, and you supported her anyway, thinking that you could use her to propel yourselves. And that's why it's very hard for me to be supportive of the space, because when myself and others were saying, well, hey, we need to protect our space, it's okay for us to say that, we are, what's the word I want to use? We're protective of our spaces. We don't like certain things. And you all, some of y'all treated me and others like shit. I've seen people lie about me in a way that has made me completely distance myself from social media. It's made me not want to participate in the space at all, because you all looked at content creators with larger platforms and you thought that you could use them, and you thought that perhaps you could get certain recognition from them by lying about people like me. And then there are content creators in this space. And when I say content creators, I want to be very clear. Okay? There are content creators in this space, like the Woman's Fear podcast, like Love M, Crystal Swirls, who talked so much shit about me, right? But the things that they were saying about me were not true. So when I say things about them that are true, then people are like, well, oh, you're doxing them. And it's like, well, okay, but they're lying about me in a way that was harmful to my reputation. So, like, I've never viewed YouTube as a business. I just come on here and talk whenever I wanted to, right? But if I viewed YouTube as a business and I'm a Black woman and I'm saying, okay, these are my thoughts and my opinions, it would be harmful to me from a business perspective for people to be out here saying, well, no, she's not really a Black woman, or she can't have kids, or she's a tranny. And it's like, listen, anyone who knows me, and no one on this YouTube platform knows me except for one person, okay? One person who I have been in constant communication with for like years now. But anyone who knows me knows that the condition of my womanhood impacts my health. Okay? So if I was not bleeding to death in the hospital as those bitches were saying that shit, it would have been laughable. But no, like, my periods are so heavy that it causes me to bleed to death, combined with the fact that I married a man who knew that he could not have children naturally, and he did not tell me that until we had been married for several years. As these bitches are on panels, like in the late hours of the morning, talking cash shit and lying. So now we fast forward several years, and now all of you who supported Cynthia, including those of you in the swirl community, all of you who supported her are now upset with her because she's growing. And it's like, but y'all supported her. And I'm the type of a Black woman where it's like, okay, if I see another Black woman growing and shining, I'm happy for her. I'm not angry with her. I'm not upset with her. I support her growth, even if I don't personally agree with certain opinions. But some of y'all are looking fake and phony as hell out here because you supported her at a time where there were some of us who were saying, well, wait, if we are divested, then why are we ushering Black women into spaces that are pro-Black or Black first? You frankly demonized us for that. And not only that, right? Because you, like, I can have an opinion and you can disagree with me. But you took it to a level where you lied. And then when some of us were like, well, no, like, this is not true. This is not true. You doubled down on the lie. But now you see a woman who, frankly, is growing to a point where she's damn near a household name, and you're upset with the very woman that you supported because you thought you could use her. And I'm like, okay, this behavior is very similar to what happens to Black women who are in spaces who are pro-Black, right? Because if we're being honest, whether you're pro-Black, Black first, whatever, or you're BWE, whatever, you're a swirler, you're divested, as Black women, we seem to only care about each other as far as we can use each other. We don't have the ability to say, okay, this is a Black woman, she's doing well, she's progressing, and I'm happy for her growth, even though I don't support her opinion. And it's very toxic and divisive for some of you to come to those of us who are smaller content creators, and you want us to talk about the people you don't like, right? You want us to talk about them as you're watching them and supporting them and all of that stuff. And you watch them and support them until they grow to a certain point. And once they grow to a point that you're not happy with, then all of a sudden they're a problem. And it's Black women in the space of the audience, and it's some Black women who are content creators. Okay? Because those of you who identify as swirlers, you supported Cynthia G, you liked her content, and then it's just me as an observer. When you felt like you couldn't use her, then all of a sudden you were bringing up the very same things that some of us were talking about years ago. Some of us were telling you years ago, okay, if you're talking about people in spaces who were saying that you deserved to die because you happened to be with a man who wasn't Black, perhaps that's a space you shouldn't be in. You were saying that we are triggered by Black men, right? You had these fatherless bitches telling you that we're triggered by Black men. Looking at Black women who come from very well, I don't know the word to say, but let's say we come from families where we have positive examples of, frankly, relationships with Black women and Black men, right? But you're looking at us and telling us we're triggered as we're looking at you, and we're saying, well, no, sis, like if you're with a man and that man happens to not be Black, you have to be careful about being ushered into spaces of people who are telling you very clearly that they view you as a traitor to the quote unquote race. You listened to them and you supported them, right? You listened to people who suggested that anyone who, like any Black woman who is a divester, right? They were telling you that we are not, what do they call it? We're not people who are descendants of enslaved Black Americans, which is not true. Okay, my family on my dad's side is on the 1850 slave census, and on my mom's side, we found the will that freed her family in the early 1700s. But what we also found is that here in Virginia, right, they had to, if you were a free person of color, so if you were a Black person who wasn't a slave prior to the Civil War, you had to register every year. Like I'm the person who collected those records for both sides of my family, right? So I'm very aware of who I am as a woman and as a woman who is Black. And with that, I can also tell you, okay, if you love your Black father, your Black son, whoever, you cannot tie that to the collective of Black men. And when I was telling you that, a lot of you, it's one thing to disagree, right? But a lot of you were repeating unfounded rumors that are not true, right? A lot of you were going around out here saying that my husband left me and he left me for a white woman, which is not true. I initiated our separation. He's not attracted to white women. He's 52. He's been married twice. And myself and his first wife are like phenotypically Black women. I live in a part of the country where, frankly, I don't have a problem attracting men. My problem is with my picker, right? So I have a problem observing red flags, okay? But in terms of attracting men who can provide for me and all that shit, it's not a problem. And I was on here a few years ago and I was like, well, why are we saying that we're divested, but we're supporting B1 people as they're coming into our spaces? And frankly, y'all treated me like shit. That's why I don't really make content. I don't put a lot into this channel or my other channel. Okay? Because I watched a lot of you who claim to be divestors supporting the very people, frankly, who are ushering you into death and destruction. And you all are only mad at women like Cynthia G because of their growth and their progression. But she's always been very clear about her stance. And I'm the type of person where I can respect a person for being honest about who they are, even if I don't agree with them. But what I don't respect is you all who claim to be divestors supporting women because you think you can use them, and when you realize you can't, then you get upset. And that's the whole beef with Angela and all them people with the B1 network. She thought she could use them to get her channel to a certain point. And when she realized she couldn't, she was talking all this shit about people that, like, frankly, she ushered into the space. Angela in the pink pill ushered Cynthia into the space. And you all supported it and you allowed it. So I'm like, what are we complaining about now? Okay, you come in peace, but I eye you with suspicion. Because I've seen you on other channels and I know that you don't like divestors. But okay, I won't block you for now. But anyway, that's just what I wanted to say. Like, a lot of y'all are some fake, phony, fugazi ass bitches. And it makes me hesitant to deal with any of this shit. Because I told y'all You can go back on this channel and see some of my old videos. I told y'all that we needed to protect the integrity of our spaces, and y'all didn't want to do it, right? You didn't like it. And it's one thing, again, it's one thing to say that you disagree with me. I'm cool with you disagreeing with me and telling me why. But the thing that, frankly, I will never forget is the way that some of you raggedy motherfuckers lied on me. You lied on me. You talked all this shit about me. And you supported bitches who did it. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back to my day because my mom and dad are coming by later and I cannot let them hear me cussing y'all the fuck out, okay? But I hope y'all have a good day. But yeah, like, don't complain about shit that you ushered into the space. All right? Bye.